Thanks for trusting KRTV as your choice for news. I'm Shannon Newth.
And I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin with the highly anticipated trial of Adam Sanchez Jr., the man accused of killing Cascade County Sheriff's Deputy Joe Dunn in August of 2014.
Jury selection began this morning in Billings for the murder trial. MTN's Joe Huizenga is at the Yellowstone County Courthouse.
Dozens of people squeezed into two Yellowstone County courtrooms this morning as they began the crucial and meticulous process of selecting a jury. Once jurors were sworn in, Judge Dirk Sandifer asked who needed to be excused for hardships and began crossing names off the list. He also inquired if people had learned about the case from media reports or personal connections. When a significant number of jurors raised their hands, individual interviews had to be conducted. Some potential jurors requiring separate questioning included a friend of a Sanchez family member and a Billings police officer. Attorneys continued to narrow the jury pool throughout the day, and members of the Sanchez family made a strong show of support as they kept an eye on the proceedings from the front row. Opening arguments are expected to begin tomorrow. In Billings, Joe Huizenga, MTN News.
Also in court news, Berry Beach is making another bid for freedom, and this time there's a new state law that could work in his favor. In an interview with MTN News today from the Montana State Prison, Beach said he plans to file a new petition next week with the State Board of Pardons and Parole. The petition will ask the board to commute his 100-year no parole sentence for the 1979 murder of Kimberly Neese of Poplar. The 53-year-old Beach says he was wrongly convicted for the murder in 1984 and that he's innocent. The parole board has rejected earlier petitions by Beach, but a new state law that takes effect Thursday allows the governor to overrule recommendations of the Board of Pardons and Parole. The last time Beach attempted to have his sentence commuted, Governor Steve Bullock wrote a letter of support saying Beach had served enough time. We'll have more on this story tonight at 10.
A long fire season is getting even longer for residents along the Rocky Mountain front west of Augusta. That's after the sheep fire saw significant growth over the last few days thanks to warm and dry weather. The fire was first reported August 26th. It's burned more than 2,200 acres. A pre-evacuation order was issued Saturday after the fire progressed to the east, crossing the South Fork of the Sun River and burning up the Black Reef on the south side of Gibson Reservoir.
On this past Saturday, we hit one of the pre-identified trigger points for a pre-evacuation notice, and so both Lewis and Clark County and Teton County Sheriff's Departments cooperating went ahead and notified people. Approximately 80 residence cabins, mostly recreation cabins, but some permanent residences as well, that we'd reach that pre-evacuation. That's just to give people time to think about and prepare in case it happens.
At last word, the sheep fire was 2 miles west of the next point that would trigger a mandatory evacuation. Cunningham says 2 hotshot crews along with helicopters and other aircraft are working to keep it in check. Hunters also want to take notice that the Home Gulch and Mortimer Gulch campgrounds are closed until further notice. A Great Falls staple transferred to new hands today.
Bennett Motors formally announces the sale of the car dealership to Lithia Motors. Lithia staffers spent today working at the downtown dealership, putting up signs and switching out license plate tags. Former Bennett Motors owner and General Manager KRTV says Lithia bought all of the dealership's property as well as their inventory of about 200 used and new vehicles. She also says Lithia offered to hire all of Bennett's employees. Employees heard about the sale in a letter dated September 4th. KRTV won't be working in the auto sales industry in Great Falls since she signed a non-compete agreement, but says the sale could have a good impact for Great Falls.
Because of their nationwide connections, they'll probably be able to have even better inventory selection than what we've been able to have, and I think that's good for our local customers. That there's times it's hard for us to get the inventory that we need.
Bennett Motors started in 1915, and the 9th Street location has been an icon in Great Falls since 1948.
Part of the Affordable Care Act designed to improve care and reduce costs are so-called readmission rate penalties.
MTN's Sanjay Tawani looks at which Montana hospitals had more people than expected come back for care.
The government measures how many people end up back in a hospital after each of 5 different types of treatment. It compares that data to what it would expect based on the demographics of the hospital's patient populations and other factors.
And so what you see in the readmission program is an incentive for hospitals to do what they can to make sure their patients aren't admitted and readmitted unnecessarily for expensive hospital care.
5 Montana hospitals out of 13 measured will be penalized with reductions in the Medicare payments they receive for inpatient care.
And when you look at state-by-state comparisons, Montana's performance is among the best in the country. We rank number 5 in the country overall.
St. Peter's Hospital in Helena will get nearly 1.5% less, possibly costing it more than $200,000. St. Vincent in Billings, St. James in Butte, Northern Montana Hospital in Havre, and Benefice in Great Falls are also being penalized. St. Peter's says it's reduced readmission rates by 10% in the past year. Last year it launched a Keeping You Home program pairing seniors with volunteers to help monitor them. This year, it's working to help chronic heart failure patients, stressing home monitoring by families and teams of professionals. St. Vincent and St. James say their readmission rates are consistent with national averages, and they're seeing steady improvements by calling patients within 48 hours of discharge, pushing for early follow-ups, and improving medication instructions. In Helena, Sanjay Talwani, MTN News.
Investing could be one way to build long-term wealth for you and your family. However, unscrupulous brokers on the hunt for high commissions may try to make you offers that might not be right for you or your investment portfolio.
In this edition of MTN Fraud Watch, Dennis Carlson says the best way to protect your money is to be clear about your objectives before you invest.
Some investment opportunities provide higher commissions to the brokers who sell them, and that might tempt them to get you to invest. The question to ask is, does the opportunity meet your investment objectives, such as your financial situation, tax bracket, risk tolerance, and your social values? Experts say the best way to protect your money is to have those objectives in writing and filed with your broker.
If you don't want to take risk, put it in writing. If you need income, put it in writing. Then if there's a problem down the road and you find that you're holding something that's not suitable, we can investigate, and if something has been sold contrary to your written investment objectives, we can remedy the problem in the form of restitution and a penalty to the firm or the salesperson for doing wrong.
Egan says if you're not sure about an investment opportunity, check and verify it before you invest. You can find out more by going to our websites. That's your Fraud Watch. Reporting from Helena, Dennis Carlson, MTN News.
There are about 38,000 investment products registered with the state of Montana.
And there are more than 97,000 stockbrokers and investment advisor representatives also registered with the state.